What's up, gamers on demand? Yeah, you heard me, on demand, gamers. It's a two-way street, this demanding stuff. I'm Jonathan Drubner, and welcome to Gametrotting, where we scour the globe hunting down the wildest stories in gaming, and then kill them. Today we're tracking the not-so-elusive MMOs, massively multiplayer online games. Did you know people are actually selling their MMO characters online right now for upwards of $1,500? Yeah, ridiculous. MMOs are huge, and the gamers that play them are increasing in numbers at a frightening pace. Check it out, and let me know if you think we need to thin out the herd.
Wore out multiple joysticks on my Atari 2600.
Atari 2600,
Apple II.
Dungeons & Dragons.
tech support,
Role-playing game.
Crazy monsters.
level 60,
I like stats, I like numbers.
Pythagorean theorem,
Fully robotic.
hit points,
Evil purposes.
elves and halflings and wormholes. Can I say Lord of the Rings?
I am a huge MMO fan.
An MMORPG is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game.
Anytime you log on, there are people that you see running around in the game. There are actual people sitting behind a PC.
All MMOs are online. They are interactive with the other players in a huge virtual world that's constantly going whether you're logged in or not.
They're all playing in the same space together. They can talk to each other. They can fight with each other, or in many cases fight against each other.
You're following quests and kind of a storyline, but you gotta choose your own adventure, but you can also just be social, or you can go to the battlegrounds. I mean, it's insane.
And it harkens back to the days of like when a lot of us played paper role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons.
A lot of people sort of question why there's so many fantasy MMOs. And I think that really is like so many people that make games, and particularly MMO games at the onset of MMO gaming, were D&D players.
I think Dungeons & Dragons was a progenitor in the way that you had to create the world. You literally had to create every aspect of the world. And the better you were at the details, the better game you generally created.
You get to sit there and imagine a character and choose their stats and choose your professions and what you wanted to do, but that was pretty limited to your imagination. Not that that's a bad thing.
The logical progression once PCs started having more graphic horsepower was to add a look to that. You could actually see it. And that really kind of came to fruition with a game called Ultima Online.
Ultima Online sort of took it to a different level. Within 6 months, it broke through 100,000 people worldwide playing.
There have been plenty of online games before that, but nothing that really captured people's imaginations and got them to stay in and play. And Ultima Online was really the first game to do that.
EverQuest was the first MMO that was 3D.
It was overwhelming to players. When you saw a mountain in the distance, you could run to that mountain.
EverQuest possibly started the MMO craze that we experience today.
A lot of my friends got addicted to it. Basically, it's called Evercrack.
The quantum leap that EverQuest brought was just the visuals and the immersion.
Star Wars Galaxies was awesome. If you're a Star Wars fan, it was a no-brainer.
You know, it becomes much more professional at that point when you start seeing someone like Lucas get into the arena.
Literally, a bunch of people could get together in a desolate part of the planet and build your own city. Now that's cool.
The new King of the Hills, WoW, you know, World of Warcraft, they were able to set a new high water mark in terms of subscribers.
World of Warcraft made it easy for someone that didn't really know what an MMO was to kind of get in and get started. But like anything good, it's simple to enjoy, but really difficult to master.
It is so incredibly fun. It's incredibly addicting. Millions of people are subscribers. You know, South Park's doing shows on it. Everybody talks about how people get wrapped up into it and lose relationships over it. It just really makes it easy for everyone to enjoy it.
There's different flavors of combat, and there's, you know, PvP, which stands for player versus player. Then there's PvE combat, and that's player versus environment. You're fighting computer AI.
No matter how good we are at programming artificial intelligence, we can never duplicate a human. The depth of thought and unpredictability that a human can.
A bad guy can pop out of nowhere, and I know it's some 13-year-old punk that's been playing for 14 hours that has every tool imaginable to kill me.
You don't know what you'll run across and who you'll meet. I think that's sort of the thrill.
Computer games went through this phase where they became kind of a solo activity. In a way, I feel like massively multiplayer online games are bringing us back to where games were originally, which is a social experience.
I think what I always heard a whole lot when I was younger was, go outside and play with your friends. And, what an MMO allows you to do is stay inside and play with your friends.
You can hang out with your friends, and you don't necessarily have to have them over. Like, I love my friends, but I don't need to see them in my house.
If you feel awkward or shy, you've got this mask, you've got this veneer, and you can do what you want.
Star Wars Galaxies allows you to get married. I went with my virtual wife to go get a dress for her in the game, and I wasn't allowed to see it until the day of the wedding. It was hilarious, and we just did it because it was funny. I had no idea if she was really even female on the other end of the keyboard.
My favorite WoW moment was probably when I married our 2 lesbian night elves together with my friend Bob. I chose a female character because I'm a girl and I just wanted to play a female character, and I chose a night elf because I like it when my characters are hot. Girls
actually play MMOs. I suppose for some dudes it's like, all right, I got this virtual girlfriend, I'm hanging out with a chick, even though it's online. I have a real girlfriend.
If you look at the way societies were before, you pretty much knew everyone in your sort of immediate surroundings. As our civilization has progressed, those kinds of immediate near bonds don't really exist. The social networks that people find in these virtual spaces kind of replace that.
There was a couple that had a small child, and the dad was in the military and stationed at some base in Europe. They actually used the game to bring their virtual characters at the dinner table and have dinner in the evening and find out how the day was.
It's an interesting phenomenon of this generation where the distinction between real and virtual isn't as defined as it used to be.